I am more mad at Americans because instead of uniting against this common enemy who is robbing us blind, we are fighting over whether or not drag queens can read books to children. At what point are we going to stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore?
Welcome to my YouTube space. I am the Kenyan Beast. Of course, we are doing it the African way every day, every time. Now, the videos I'm going to react today and I'm going to show you is about the white people claiming, or the white people want black people to join them and unite so that they can stop the inflation that's going on in the United States of America. Now, before we dig into this video, there is this narrative that poverty is only for black people. A lot of white people have been taught that poverty is only for black people. And this is a narrative that is coming from the rich white people to make sure that the racism will continue, to make sure the discrimination will continue, to make sure the white race will still remain superiority. Because without this narrative, or without instigating these stereotypes, everyone will be the same. But deep down, there is black people who are rich and richer than most white people. A lot of black people are rich than most white people. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you compilation of white people complaining about the inflation, and they are asking it is time for unity. Okay? And I just want you to see these videos, and then we come back and talk about it a little bit to see what's going on. Because when there is a problem in a country, it does not favor any race. What's happening right now with Trump and the FAFO, it's not affecting one race only. The white people are being affected, Latinos are being affected, and black people are being affected. Now, let's see these videos, and then we'll come back again and talk about it.
I went to Target yesterday and bought 2 bottles of hair product, a bottle of shampoo, a box of trash bags, and 1 Halloween decoration. $70 on my Target red card. That's with my 5% discount. My son's looking at the cart and going, Mom, this was $70. We didn't even get anything. Yeah, I know, kid. And he doesn't even remember a time when you could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area of town for $600 a month. Now a 1-bedroom apartment in a mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month. Gas is $5.49 a gallon. It cost me $65 to fill up my tank. Before COVID, my grocery bill per month was $350. Now it's $600 a month, and I buy the exact same amount of groceries. This shit is out of control. What does the bourgeoisie think that the outcome of this is going to be? They cannot possibly believe that extracting every last dime out of the working class by inflating all of the prices and paying us poverty wages is a sustainable economic model. And the thing is that I could be mad at the bourgeoisie all day long, but they are doing exactly what is expected. They are greedy sociopaths. This is what they do. I am more mad at Americans because instead of uniting against this common enemy who is robbing us blind, we are fighting over whether or not drag queens can read books to children. At what point are we going to stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore? We cannot even afford to live in this country. We can't even afford to die in this country. The Republican Party is bought and paid for by the same greedy sociopaths who are robbing you, me, and our families blind every day. They are manipulating you into believing that they are going to save you from the problems that they created in your life. They have not walked a single inch in your working class shoes. They have no idea the struggle that you and I go through every day in this economy just to feed our families and keep them safe. They are gaslighting you into believing that I am your enemy so that you're distracted while they continue to do their dirt behind your back, because they know that if you knew what they were doing, you wouldn't vote for them anymore. Why are you listening to them? The Democratic Party, with the exception of a very small few, is filled with weak and spineless politicians who placate to everyone just so that they can get reelected because they want to maintain some semblance of power in Congress. Why are you placing all of your faith and hope in this party to save us? Your religious leaders are funded by the same corporate sponsors who have bought your politicians, and they are weaponizing your faith against you so that you are distracted by a made-up enemy, your gay neighbor or your liberal coworker. so that you are not paying attention to the extreme financial crimes that they are committing against all of us right under your nose. In the richest country in the world, 500,000 people are homeless when there are more than enough homes to house them, and millions of children are hungry or food insecure, having their one free meal taken away from them at school. 10-year-olds are being forced to bear the child of their rapist. People are rationing their insulin and dying because they cannot afford health care. The water's polluted, the air is polluted, the soil is devoid of nutrients because we have oversaturated it in pesticides. We're not going to be able to grow our own food in the coming decades. The planet is literally dying. And they are putting hotels up in space and telling you that they can't afford to pay you a living wage, and you are believing them. This period is going to go down in the history books as one of the most epic failures that America ever allowed to happen. Future generations are going to study this time in history and ask themselves, why did they not do anything? How could they not see? And if you're sitting behind your phone right now and thinking to yourself, it's not me, it's those goddamn weirdo trans kids, then you are the people that they will be talking about. Wake the fuck.
And I think we might be living at our in-laws' house until, we get old and gray, because the housing market is absolutely ridiculous. It's so sad because back in the day, you're able to just go to school, get a good job, get married, be able to buy a house, start a family, and possibly be able to stay part-time at home even with the children to help raise them. Now it's like, no, you get married, where are you living? Maybe we're gonna live in a shoebox, maybe we're gonna be homeless living on the street, because why is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath like $800,000? Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how things are going right now, because it's like, it's pretty hopeless for this generation, for us that are trying to start our lives and get a place. It's like, rent is absolutely insane. You can't save any money to be able to buy a place. They don't want us to own anything, and they literally want to destroy your dreams of starting a life. It's just so embarrassing.
So on today's episode of Why Are They Charging That Much for Rent, my downstairs neighbor, okay, exact same floor plan that I have. I signed my lease in January, and I know there's gonna be people that's like, that's cheap or that's expensive, but whatever. 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet. I pay $1,639 before they add stuff. But my base rent is $1,639. After everything, it's $1,715. That's what I pay every month. Okay, so $1,639. So my downstairs neighbors lived there for like 2 months and then moved out. I would love to know the tea on that, I would. And if you've been here since my Florida days, I'm not talking about the downstairs neighbors that called the cops. That's a whole separate story in a whole separate state, okay? Now we're in Texas. So anyways, downstairs neighbors move out. They moved out in Florida too, but also Texas. And I'm like, so I go on the website to see how much they're renting that apartment for. Keep in mind my $1,639. $2,247. I know every realtor's argument's gonna be like, yeah, but it's the summer, it's a peak time to move. Is that not like a $600 increase in the last 5 months? I'm gonna need to have a chat with whoever signed that lease, genuinely. Because you're getting robbed. They haven't even moved in yet. I don't know if anyone has, but it was the only 2-bed, 2-bath apartment open for $2,247.
This morning I read that if your parents make $100K 40 years ago in 1983, then you'd have to make $292,000 in 2023 just to have the same purchasing power adjusted for inflation. 300K is the new 100K.
Talk about Halloween, talk about horror, talk about scary. 80% of Americans have run out of money. Okay, the Federal Reserve just published a study stating that only 20% of the richest Americans still have excess savings after the pandemic. And the other 80% have less cash on hand than before the pandemic began. Households saved a combined $2.3 trillion during the various pandemic lockdowns. The savings rate was going up, and it's estimated that 1.3 trillion of that has now been spent.
Listen to me. I will never be able to afford a house. I will never be able to afford a house.
Home prices are rising nationwide as inflation remains stubborn and mortgage rates remain high as Americans compete for fewer available homes. Home prices in March were up 0.4% compared to February. Now that's the second month in a row that we have seen gains.
My parents' house that is $195,000 back in '96 is now worth $500,000 to $700,000. my children will never be able to have the life I live because I can't afford to do it.
I don't think any of us thought when we were growing up that owning a home would be a luxury. Like maybe we thought it would be a bit difficult, but not like a luxury that basically only the rich will be able to afford.
No one that works a full-time job should be facing homelessness. And that's what my family is facing right now.
Everybody in America kind of knows, like, it's over. Like, there will be no recovery. Like, this is not like the other times. This ain't like 2008 where, oh, we'll crash and then we'll get back up.
Because right now, this economy, this world is set up to make average American families fail.
If I can get my hands on a nice lump sum of money, baby, I'm buying land in another country and I'm out of here because there's nothing left here but struggle.
Days when somebody can support themselves and live comfortably with just one income. I have a full-time job that years ago I could have raised a family on what I make. And it's like now I have to do side hustles, you know, to supplement my income because it's gotten so fucking expensive to live.
It's crazy you have to work like 75% of your life, like donate, give up 75% of your time pretty much just to literally survive, just to live. Not to live comfortably, not to live well, just to live.
Then it's like I woke up all of a sudden and my insurance has doubled, food has fucking tripled, gas is so expensive, electric bill over double, my fucking rent went up. I can't be the only one that's drowning.
Everybody is going through this bullshit. Everyone. Can't go to Canada, can't go to the UK. Everyone is dealing with just not being able to sustain life.
I've never had so little money in my entire life. All of my money goes towards my bills and food for me to eat. And half the time, I have to choose between filling my car with gas or eating.
Wish that I could just have a job and do my job and go to work every day and it would just pay for life. It would pay for a roof over my head, it would pay for food on my table, it would pay for medical bills, it would pay enough for me to like save money so I could retire one day, you know, like basic things.
I am 36 years old and I have nothing to show for 20 plus years of work.
20% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in their savings account. Well, why does that matter? It matters because if you don't have $1,000 in your savings account, then you need to budget your money better. The expenses should be last. That means you're living above your means.
I don't need to budget. Prices either need to go down or my pay needs to go up. I think I'm someone who's fairly reasonable with my spending. I pay my bills. I take care of my needs first and foremost. I take care of my wants within a reasonable parameter. Like, I don't spend exorbitant amounts of money to the point where I need to track how much I'm spending because money's just flying out of my ears. Things just cost too much. So again, my pay needs to go up.
So our 2 bedrooms right now, they have no view, no updated appliances. Neighbors are a little loud. Those are going for $3,900 right now, which is a steal. We do ask that you make 5 times the rent, so at $3,900, you need to at least make $20,000 a month in this economy, which is great. To rent our semi-luxury apartments with loud neighbors, roaches here and there, you will need a 760 credit score or higher. Higher is better. And we also have no security cameras in the garage. So if your car gets broken into, we don't care. We do also require an $8,000 security deposit that you may or may not get back. Leaning towards the may not. We do also require first and second month's rent to move in. For our lease terms, we do have a 36 and a 48. We do need to see your entire lease's rent inside your bank account to move in. So that'll be $3,900 times that 36-month lease. On top. So we'll need to see $140,000 inside your bank account right now to move in. Also need the $8,000 security deposit on top of the first and second month's rent to move.
Welcome back. Now, the reason why I've decided to react on this video is just to clear stereotypes to some people who think that Reason why I'm reacting in this video is just to clear this narrative to some people, or stereotypes that people have, that it's only black people keep complaining. I did a video yesterday that black people, the stereotypes is black people have everything, they're in a good country, but they keep on complaining. That I'm gonna clear this narrative, because some of these white people are going through a lot. White people are having issues. The white Americans too are having their own issues, because when you talk about inflation, it affects black Americans and it affects white Americans too. And because when we have the rise of cost of living, like all Americans, white Americans face higher prices for food, housing, healthcare, and transportation. When inflation rises, it's not for black people alone. So the fact that black people they get low wage payment, and it's tough for them to handle this situation, but everyone in the United States of America is affected by the rise of cost of living. When you talk about this, for example, when you go to the videos, the MAGA FAFO videos, you will find that the MAGA who voted for Donald Trump, now they are FAFO. They are crying. Like, whatever Donald Trump is doing is not affecting one race only. It's not affecting Latinos. For example, when you send a Latino away, when you send these Latinos and they were working somewhere, that means that these white employers will now lack workers who they can pay a low amount. So they will need to employ workers who are white people, or workers who are official or legally in America. And that is to tell you that they will pay more. So this message is for the white people. Whenever you see black people going through some problems, that does not mean that you are safe. One of the things I know is that they are using you to believe that these black folks or Latino are the problems of your country, and at the end of the day, you all are in these problems. So you need to stand up, and these white guys or these white ladies, they want black people to unite with white people so that they can bring about a good America, or they can stop inflation. Why are they asking for black people hand? It's because it's all by them to unite that America will be great. Now, the dream of America is going down every day, and we have done these videos. And the dream was to everyone to own a house, to have a decent job, to own a car, to live good. But that is not working out, simply because some set of people are being discriminated, races and everything. So it is hard to have the dream when you hate on one race. It's hard to have a dream when you don't love other race. So it is hard for you. And the white or rich white people doesn't care about that. They doesn't care of what you are going through as a medium or poor white guy. All they know is that you believe that black people are the problem, or black people are the cause of your problem. That is what they care. They doesn't care about you. So inflation can lead to layoff, especially when the Federal Reserve raises interest rates and slow economy. White workers on average have higher paying jobs and more job stability, making them less vulnerable to sudden financial hardship compared to black or Latino workers. Yes, because they are being paid higher. But at the end of the day, the people who are complaining to be laid off in federal right now, they are the white folks. Black people are there laughing and saying that we told you, because a lot of black people, a lot of organizations have been out here complaining of what is going on, but you white guys, you didn't listen to them. You didn't listen for them saying that it is expensive. Education, health system. You didn't care when they said that the taxes are high on them. You didn't care, because what you cared is that you are able to pay, or you are capable to pay as a white person. So black people can just cry as far or as long as they want. But at the end of the day, it is you who is digging deeper in the pocket. It is you who is having problems, because all of you will have this issue when inflation hits hard. Now, the videos of white people crying or white people complaining about the economy, it's everywhere, and most of the white people have run away from America, going to look for greener pastures somewhere else. That means that America is no longer the greener pasture state that we all think. America is just a country like any other country. And even some white people are saying that China is doing better than them, because when TikTok closed and some Americans, they decided to join the red note, they found some things that they didn't believe, because China is far ahead from them, because China does not care about the race. What they care is building the country and making the life of the people better. But America every day is caring how to bring the superiority on them and how to remain a superpower. And for them to remain the superpower, they need to do things that will discriminate or to segregate others. So it is time for everyone to wake up. MAGA are crying out here. You see videos where they're crying. This is because they don't listen to the voices of black people. The voices of black people are ignored, but black people, they know exactly what's going on. They know exactly how it's hard to live there, because they are in these shoes for a long time. So they know if they tell you not to do this, then don't do this, because they are seeing far. Tell me what you think in the comment section about this video. Until next episode, peace be with you.